Good morning. I'm here with Elyse Perrett, our corporate controller here at Capital Imaging Services. I'm excited to talk to Elyse today. A lot of times accountants probably don't get interviewed that much, right? But I think it'll be fun to learn a little bit about Elyse and just what got her to Capital and just how she got started in her career. So why don't you start with that, Elyse? Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your family.
Yeah.
I know you have a daughter you love.
Yeah.
And then tell us sort of how maybe you got into accounting and then how you came to CIS.
Yeah. So, I'm an Aggie. I'm married. I have a 14-month little
What's his
girl.
name?
Oh, Trey, my husband. He went
Just in
to
case he ever watches it.
yeah. He went to LSU, so that's
Go Tigers.
what John always tells people. That like I'm married, right? Even though I went to the best school in the world.
Okay.
Gig'em. Also, Ben went there, so I have a partner in crime at least. And so how did I get into accounting?
Yeah, tell us about your daughter.
Oh yeah, Layla Grace. She's 14 months. She's walking. She's very sass. She's all about
Except for mom.
yeah, definitely. Everyone's not surprised by that at all. That she's amazing and sassy and awesome. And I'm just really enjoying like seeing her learn and
Cool.
like grow and seeing something that like you made your daughter, right? Learn how to walk and learn how to just sometimes when she just figures something small out and you see that light bulb, it's probably the best thing in the world.
That's cool.
I don't think I always knew I wanted kids, but now that I have them, I'm like, what? Like I want, a million. I'm never gonna have a million, but I could want.
That's cool. Grandparents love her.
Of course, of course, of course. They're my in-laws live in Beaumont, and then my parents live in Dos Anjos.
Okay, cool. All right, Elise. Tell me a little bit about how do you got into accounting? I think it had something to do with one of your parents, but then also tell me a little bit about your career before you got to CIS, and then we'll talk about, since you've been at CIS.
Well, I was just born with spreadsheets in my eyes. No, but actually, when I was 10, I started to go work. My dad was an accountant, and he was a CFO when I was a kid. And so I would go work, and most of the time he'd make me do filing or not something real cool. Well, they had a computer at his office, which I was in the time when that wasn't at all the
Yeah.
time. We did not have a computer at our home when I was. We probably got one around the time I was that age. But like seeing my dad working it and working like spreadsheets, and that sounds so dorky, but I thought it was so cool. I think I wanted to do something like
That's
that.
cool.
Then in high school, my high school, we had this super awesome business teacher, and she had an accounting course, and I did it, and it was all on paper, like
Yeah.
again, no computers, but it just made sense to me, and it worked, and I like understood it, and it kind of just clicked.
I'll tell you,
And
but
so,
you either get it or you don't. So.
I mean, because you would be a great. I'll hire you one day, John.
Thanks. Sure.
But if y'all don't know, John is an accountant, and we jokingly talk about T charts and T accounts all the time. And when we're like, where should it go? So,
Cool. So, dad sort of got you, made you get into the career. So, tell us how you graduated from Texas A&M, and then sort of what was your career path after that?
yeah. So then I knew I wanted to go to Texas A&M, the best place in the world, as I've said a few times, but better than LSU. But I knew I wanted to go there. I went there for accounting, got my undergrad and my master's from Texas A&M. I then went to Deloitte, which is an accounting firm. Was there for a few years, got to see all different like industries, and you audit them, which isn't doing the same as doing accounting. But you get to see a lot, you get to touch a lot, and it's really awesome. I then went to like an Aggie owned oil and gas company, and we went public and sold, which was a
Okay.
huge venture. If you know anything about accounting, going public is a lot on everyone, but especially accounting. We have to have a bunch of controls. Obviously, we have to quarterly do financials that we don't get to change, that are audited and reviewed. So it was a big thing. We went public. We're public for about a year. Then we sold to another oil and gas company.
Okay.
After that, and I'd always done it during this time, I owned a boutique.
Actually, all business there.
So that actually has nothing to do with accounting, but I owned a boutique, And I took some time to do that and and that people make fun of me for this, that I love being an accountant, but miss being an accountant.
Okay.
So COVID happened a little bit before COVID happened. And I was like deciding what I wanted to do, if I want to keep doing it on a partner at Deloitte that said, I know a CFO that you would get along so great, and she's in healthcare. What do you want to do with, like, is that okay? And the moment I got into healthcare, it was the right fit. Um, Accounting isn't always the most exciting to other people. For me and Subaru is. But oil and gas accounting was a little bit more monotonous, I'd say, than healthcare accounting, because of all the intricacies about how we get paid and the fact that insurances are part of it. It is really intricate. So I just jumped in. I started doing accounting, and then at a certain point, revenue cycle fell under me. We were much smaller than our revenue cycle team, but and then I met and then Jeff, I through a recruiter, they reached out to me. I was very happy where I was at, and I really connected with Jeff's vision and your vision, and that's how I made it to CIS.
Cool. All right, Elyse. So those are two big implementations. Like you said, some people don't see them, and then other parks people saw. What do you think to get us to the next level as we grow, as we continue to grow? What are a few things you see your team, yourself, our finance department? What do you see y'all implementing going forward?
So one thing we're right now in the middle of getting done is a new credit card integration system with an app and all that.
I think you're gonna make everybody happy.
I know. I get bugged about this all the time. And originally we were going to do it through Sapolsky, which is the reason we picked them, because they were an AP system and a card and expense. And when we, used them and the AP didn't go as well as planned, we refocused on cards and found out they actually wouldn't be the right fit. Our partner right now through all of our banks is Investar, and they were totally revamping their card system and the way that they do it with an app. And because I wanted them to, I pushed them to. I said, we'd love to still be partners with you on this. But right now the service you provide isn't what we need to grow to, where it was 57, 58, to, 60, 70 to 100 locations. We can't keep doing this in Excel, and I know everybody hates it. My team also, it's a lot of work on my team as well. So has been a major goal, and working with a partner that I know cares about keeping us and doing what it takes to get it done. We've been working with them. Right now, we're about to send out the first round of cards of people that are going to be my testers. So it's not negative we learned about the AP system. It rolled out, and so when we had issues on 57 locations. Right? So now we're going to do it to 12 people, and they can give me input, what we need to add, what needs to be changed, because there will be. I know Michael sends me all the time,
You're so good.
Write down
learning things. So you said AP, we rolled it out to every site. No, so it's whatever is good or bad is going to happen in every site.
Yes.
So now you learn, hey, look, I'm a pilot this credit card thing.
And it's probably a little bit easier to do it for credit cards than AP, right?
Right.
But I will say we probably could have staggered some stuff as hindsight 2020. But also we were excited about all the things it could do to give that to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm also excited about that for the cards, and for a little bit we'll be having some stuff side by side, and some people will have the old card, some people will have both, but I think it'll be better for everybody for us to test it. So we're doing that right now. And then another thing we're actively working on is a dashboard to be able to get data timely.
So tell people like some people that aren't, hey, I'm not in accounting every day, or I'm not in finance every day. What does a dashboard mean? Like, what does that mean to everybody, all our employees?
So the daily email, the stat email, I get all the time. Oh, wait to 9 o'clock to see that. I'm so excited. The idea is, I think we get sent it at 6 a.m. There's an email that goes out at 6 a.m. and we can integrate that into a dashboard. We're going to use the platform Power BI, and these people the people that use it don't have to know how to create it, but you can then say, okay, well, what did we do to last year? What did we do to this day last year? And hopefully we can like get that detailed and say, here's like the expectation, and or what did we do the month last year, or maybe 3 years ago. And so it's
a
just
way
like a
to
little bit more dynamic.
yeah, easier way to pull up trends.
Yes.
Like just like I guess trends would be one of them. More just stats, I guess.
I'm using stats as an example because
Yeah.
that's probably the ones that most people
But you can probably use payroll, AP, whatever you're dealing with in your job. You're going to be able to pull it almost. I know I'm gonna make this sound easier than it is, but almost at the touch of a button a little bit.
So we're creating APIs, like, which I don't know what that stands for. I'm not techie. I'm not pretending like I know that side, but we're working with them so that we can, whether it's automatic. So like once it gets updated, it should happen, right? So we've picked like Imagine, Payroll, or like Paycom, Avadox, obviously. Some of our accounting.
So some things will be more real time. Some things might be delayed a day, whereas other things might be delayed 2 weeks.
Yeah, so like it takes us time to compile the financials. So if you get a financial dashboard, like, and you look at it midway through the month, it's not complete. So we might be able to pull the data real time. It might not be useful real time. Versus knowing stats, like it would be awesome if and right now it's about a day behind. And I don't even know how quicker we could get it, but we're going to try. And so that's a good piece. And with these APIs, we could really get in there and see live data, because my team does spend a lot of time compiling data for people. And so if it can be quickly at a touch of a button, then I think that'd be take some stress off my team. But also people normally want to be able to see stuff the way they want to see it. And sometimes people are like, I feel bad asking your team from this. We're here for that, but we want to make it easier for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we've helped people out and pulled something through Excel, and the response is that would have taken me a few hours and it took us a few minutes.
Or it's taken us a few weeks.
Yeah. That's true. And sometimes we can't do it in 2 minutes, right? It does take us time to compile data, but if we know that people are wanting it, we can create a process that can pull it easier or automatic. So that's our goal, is to kind of assess, and we've done some.
So when do you feel these dashboards, or at least some of them, when do y'all feel they'll be ready?
So we're working with some consultants, and they've given like aggressive timelines. I don't feel that, but I feel at some point in near the end of Q3. So,
but for non-accountants, again, what is Q3?
Oh, I'm sorry. How dare I? So Q3 is, so we're broken up into 4 quarters. And so Q3 starts in what? July, August, September. So in my mind, I think September. They said earlier dates, but under promise, hopefully over deliver. Cool. So there are definitely, we're actively working through these APIs now and how to pull them all in. So
that's awesome.
And Tim's team's very active. This is not just my team. Like all of, I think, the support services, Christy, all support services are here to help, like all of our, all of the patients in the end, but our people be able to service patients better. And that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Elyse. So you get to Capital. Jeff and I interview you. We're like, hey, look, I think Elyse will be awesome for us here at Capital, helping us grow. So tell us a little bit about sort of when you came to CIS, sort of, hey, these were the first few things that I thought we needed to do to get, I always say, to scale, to grow. And tell us the few things that you saw, hey, look, I need to do these few things to make an immediate impact. And then over the last 3 years, some other things you've done to help us as a company.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is our accounting system, wasn't easily scalable.
Okay.
We couldn't go in between companies really easily. So that was kind of what I was brought on to do. We needed a new accounting system that we could pull data out really quickly. And so we did a whole accounting system transition, which is huge. I'm sure all the IT and all the operators will understand, like switching to
I
Avid.
totally forgot we even did that now. But you made it so smooth.
Oh yeah,
You did a
we
good
will go
job
over
with
maybe some of my faults when we switched AP systems. But yeah, so like when people switched on to Avidox onto Imagine, it's a huge transition, similar to us in an accounting system. Like we have to get all the back data and get it in. But now, like each company is in theory like a dimension of our financials, which makes it really easy to just switch in between them.
That's cool.
So that was one of my first big projects, and that probably took
I don't know why I forgot about that, but I did. But it was cool. It was it really helped us as a company. So yeah.
and it probably took a good solid almost like to be fully on it, like almost 8 months. So I get here, I try to learn the company to be able to best implement that going forward. So we did that kind of in the first 6 to 7 months. Through that process, like we made choices, and our old AP system, which was like bill.com, wasn't going to work on the new one. When we originally first started going out there, they were all going to work on all of them. So it didn't really affect our choices. So then we decided we needed a new AV system if it wasn't going to sync seamlessly.
Hey, so go back to the accounting system. Did it help you when you implemented that? Did it help you learn more about capital?
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Like I had to get in the details of and know all the, because some of these locations have like 5 names.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I think
Dude,
that's
yeah, I
surprised.
get on to me all the time. They're like, man, you call it Shreveport, you call it Northwest, and you call it this. And I'm like, well, I'll just call it whatever comes to my head.
And it's not really that big of a deal, except for it's in all of our systems as 4 different things. And so what we're trying to do is trying to be able to integrate and use APIs and use all this stuff to like create it NWI, Northwest Digital. And so like I get that the name that people just use is maybe sometimes different than the legal name, like Arclatech, ALT.
Or CMD in Jackson.
There's O&M.
I used to call it Flowwood. That's the
Yes.
3 names, and it's open more on this.
Exactly. So sometimes it's hard because you're trying to train new people and they have no idea. When we have 58 locations, it'll be 7 million, you know? Just kidding. But it's hard to always sometimes keep them straight. But also when we're looking in different systems and they're called or abbreviated different ways, like it makes it hard. And so we tried to streamline that for sure. And little things like that, I'm sure IT understands, like does really make a difference.
Yeah. So we get the accounting system in, the new accounting system in, and then you're talking about AP.
Yeah. Well, then in the Houston office, we really didn't have an accounting team. So we had to get during that process, I was training and getting a whole new accounting team.
Okay.
And then one of the major next big things is we had to like redo, and I don't think this affects most people, but the board deck and how we send stuff to our outside owners. And that's not just clear.
Right. So you got auditors, you have bankers, you have all these individuals we have to send financials to.
Exactly. And I don't think most people think that, but we also have other owners at some of our JV sites that want to see it and ask questions and want to see details. And so to be able to set up all of our systems, to be able to pull data out of it was a big project. The next major project was our AP transition, of which we had 2, which happened at the beginning of 2025.
We're never willing to talk about good things on that.
And I think it affected everybody, positive and negative, right? So I was pregnant at the time, so I went on maternity leave. We also had 2 major systems right when we implemented it. And that being said, it works for us and we got it to work. And it took some, I think, teeth pulling and some real working with our vendors to make it. But like we probably should have not had all those things coincide at once. And one, which is me giving birth, was kind of like had a deadline and an end date. Unlike some of the other things we maybe could have moved around and made it go a little bit more seamless. But I think my team really stepped up, and in the end has been like they've helped us integrate it and get it to what we need it to be. So it took some It took some growth. You know, they say you don't grow through failure, but like it definitely took some growth. And I feel like my team really stepped up and we got this AP. And I think it affected and touched everyone. So not everyone sees our accounting system, despite it went seamless. But everyone saw our AP system and everyone saw when it was not working as well as it should. So
Cool. As you can probably see, Elyse and myself are typical accountants, a little more outgoing than a normal accountant, are the stereotype of accountant, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell something you and I had in common a lot that they probably wouldn't think about you either, and that's that we both love hunting, right?
Oh no, yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about a hobby of yours, hunting, and how often you get to do it, and then just I think your husband likes hunting, so just tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm originally from South Florida. So I grew up not hunting. I grew up fishing with my dad and my uncles and stuff like that. My dad's like boss at one point, had like a deep sea fishing boat and they'd go out. It was really cool. And so I didn't always grow up hunting. I grew up fishing. So when I was in high school, we moved to Texas. Well, we moved to Texas before that, but I got into it in high school and it's kind of just been a thing ever since. So super into it. My husband is a hunting guide. So I'm not a pitch for him, but like, and so you need it. But my husband is a hunting guide. We live in, Houston, but he'll kind of go all over and we have a ranch, as a family outside in Rock Springs and we have some property in Blanco. And so we have sheep there and like it's real cool when the babies and all that stuff drop.
Yeah.
But so we try to go and that is I would say more of like a deer. We get some fun stuff out there. And then we'll go like we went to Sandhill Crane a year or two ago. I have not made it out much since having
You go to Sandhill Crane?
Yes.
I never.
I know that actually. I've also killed a kangaroo when I lived in Australia. So that is actually like the best thing I've killed.
See, we didn't even hit on you living in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, let's not go there. That's too.
But like that was really cool. It was a really cool experience to be able to do that. And you need to have land and it's hard to get guns out there. But like because I cared about it, I wanted to try it. And when I've told some Aussies that, they're like, "What?" But they are overrunning, and so they want you to keep the population down, so that they don't die out.
Right.
It's really about population control, similar to how we have so many hogs here in Texas. So, and I'm sure in most places, but so we'll sometimes just go out dove. We're part of the Stewards of the Wild group, and we hunt with them a lot, and it's just to me really important. And we talk about how we're going to introduce our daughter to hunting.
That's cool.
And it's really adorable. And I'll have to get your input on it because obviously you introduced your kids.
Yeah.
And they're introducing the grandkids are kind of in something.
Or Papa J.
Yes. Yeah, you are. Out of course. So I think it'll be fun, and then it'll be fun as a family, and I just can't wait.
Well, cool. I think that's cool. A lot of times we talk about work and everything we do, and then it's like we don't really get to know, hey, what do people do in their off time? So it was something you and I connected on when I first met you, and you enjoyed hunting, and it's something we both enjoy. So
I don't know.
It's like we're so connected. We both love accounting, and we both love hunting.
We're both dorks about a cow.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm as dorky as you about accounting.
It's hard to be.
I appreciate you, Elyse, being here today. It was an awesome Chief Chat. Now you get to know a little bit more about Elyse Perrett, our corporate controller, and we look forward to Elyse working with us a long time and helping us continue to grow Capital Imaging Services.